you say you're forced to recognize their contract, but what are you actually forced to do? I don't get any physical thing besides this idea of acknowledging people are married. I don't know what you're trying to be forced. I know you said you don't agree with the marriage taxes, which I assumed correctly then. So, but besides stuff like that, I mean, that's taxes. Those are bigger problems than Prop 8. That's like, you're talking about tearing down the whole government system and stuff. I think you're really missing the point with Prop 8.
Look, what a contract is an agreement between two people made beforehand that their association will follow a certain set of rules.
And most contracts have clauses about third parties enforcing the things. And usually those third parties would be the courts. You know? So, I mean, it's not really just two people. There's usually two people with a third party overseeing. And the third party is usually government. I mean, you could say that doesn't have to be government, that's because you're an anarchist, but it has to be something, right? Someone has to acknowledge the contract.
And that one person is entitled to a certain amount of compensation or something, or at least entitled to, if you do something which breaks those rules. That's what a contract is. That's what marriage is. It's setting conditions on who you associate with and how you do it. And that's precisely what you want to deny to these business owners. All right?
What are you denying to the business owners? What do they have to do with the marriage? I don't understand what you think, how businesses are getting hurt by marriage like this. Like, but is it just the tax thing? That's the only thing I could think of. That's why I assumed that. Like, I can't think of any other thing that would hurt businesses with having people, forcing them to acknowledge people's marriage.
I'm not talking about governments. I'm not talking about taxes. Those are different things.
Okay, you're not talking about taxes.
Taxes are compulsory. They're not an agreement you make. They're forced upon you. If you don't do it, they'll put a gun to your head and make you do it.
They'll put you in jail.
Sort of. And they'll take everything you have. That's not the way that private interactions work. Private interactions work. If you don't want to make a deal with someone, they can't force you to make a deal with them. Unless, like you're saying, you force them to abide by, you force them to make an agreement they don't want to make. You enslave them a little bit.
Enslave them? What? Dude. What are they doing? What does marriage do to other people? Like, I don't have to think that you two are married, so I don't have... What? What does it do? What does it do? Is there some will and testimonial? Is it talk about, like, if people are on life support, who's in charge? I don't understand. Please, explain to me what you think is so horrible about marriage being enforced on businesses. I don't get it. Just tell me that.
Because you think that you should be able to make everyone else recognize the contract you made with someone. It's not right.
It's kind of like, what good is a contract if it doesn't spread out? I don't know, man. I don't know what this association thing is doing. What it's so horrible for. I can't even get my words out. I'm so confused by your argument. It doesn't make any sense.
You want libertarianism to stay away from you? Let me tell you what
that was a joke.
Is. Libertarianism is just taking the concepts that you claim and applying them with principle and logic, rather than only to those things that fit your preconceptions and prejudices.
Prejudices? Prejudice to what? What are you talking about?
I'm not a big fan of the ACLU, but they do say one thing right. It is when rights are most controversial, most contentious, most offensive, that they must be most vigorously defended.
Like gays' right to marry?
Again, you have no right to impose an association with you on someone who doesn't want it. No matter what reason they don't want it.
I still need to understand what's being imposed. It's if you have a problem with marriage, again, if you have a problem with marriage in general being imposed, that's fine. You can't just say that gays can't be so acknowledged, like if you don't want to, and then make people acknowledge heterosexual marriage. That's not logical either. So your argument then is against marriage. Now I know you want to fight that world, but you're going about it wrong. I don't know, man. I don't know where you're coming from with this stuff. You're not making sense. And by the way, yes, anarchy in general. Again, please explain that. Explain where you think anarchy would lead. Natural course of things would make a government anyway. So anarchy is just it's just a dead idea. Yeah, I'm coming back just to put a summary on my questions. Number one, I want you to lay out an argument again for Prop 8. You're for Prop 8 somehow, without invoking an argument against having to acknowledge marriage in general. In other words, you're basically against the gay marriage. You're not against gay marriage, but you're against the forced imposing of acknowledging a gay marriage, right? So that's why you support Prop 8. But your argument extends beyond gay marriage. So I want you to focus. But Prop 8 does not pertain to all marriage. So I want you to focus on the gay marriage side, because that's really all it's about. If you want to fight marriage laws, then there's other laws to fight other than Prop 8. Okay, there's bigger laws than that. The other thing I want you to explain is anarchy, and outside of the realm of Prop 8, where you think a society of anarchy would go. I think it would just lead back to the government anyway, so I want you to explain why you think anarchy is logically consistent. Yeah, I guess that's all, so goodbye, get back to me soon, and hope we keep it civil. Alright.